Oh, okay. We're back at it, guys. Second time's a charm. Anyways, let's get back to this. Let's get back to good. Okay, Stone Ninja. Okay, we talked a little bit about your seeds, but I know that you were just in town for this event that was at Cultivate. Did how did the event go for you? What happened?
I thought the event was really good.
Really?
It was really good. It was set up well. It flowed well. They had food and drinks there. Um, Everyone was cool. There wasn't a bunch of like weird like feelings or people that had drama with each other, wigging out and stuff.
That's nice.
It was cool. Yeah, people came up and grabbed some stuff. It was nice. Met a lot of other new people and other breeders, and got to say hello again to some friends.
That is awesome. Did you get to drop anything that were new releases from yourself?
No.
No. Sometimes that feels better.
Yeah, just coming through to like hang and hang with friends and push some beans and genetics.
Did you see any good names out there?
The I don't want to say good names and like leave someone out, but there's a lot of cool people there for sure.
Dang.
Yeah.
I saw Swerve was there.
Yes.
And I don't know why, but I think that he's just so nice. Every time I see him, he just like brightens up my space. Did you get to get your sparkle on with Swerve?
Yeah. Every time I see Swerve, I make sure to go say hi to him. The first time I met him was at one of the LA High Times Cup. I was growing out some Chem 91
Ooh.
from seed and wanted to show him, like, look what I grew. So I was able to show him, and then he gave me some other free packs. Like, thanks, dude.
No.
And then I remember going back the next day, like, bro, did you smoke any of that? Like, what'd you think? He's like, yeah. He showed me, like, what was left of the bag. He's like, I really liked it, dude. Thanks. So it was cool. I was like, wow. First off, he, like, took my weed, which was cool. And then he gave me seeds, which is cooler. And then he actually smoked it. So I was like, oh, that's fucking dope.
Gosh.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
That is, so traveling, like, while we're on this, too, is I feel like you got to be a travel bee to be doing all this and, like, really getting your name out there.
Yeah.
Is that, like, a pretty heavy part of your lifestyle?
It is. It has been for the past couple of years.
I feel like wifey over here. Well, Blue, tell us a little bit about yourself first. I've got some questions, though, with some of these things.
I'm not quite sure like what to say. I'm just, I'm Blue the Siren. I'm my own woman, but I'm Stone Ninja's wife.
Do you feel like that? I know that you don't necessarily work directly in the cannabis industry, but I know that you're working behind the scenes with your hubby often and helping with the plants and helping with this process so much. But can you tell us a little bit more about like? I feel like it's kind of difficult to be a wife of a freaking breeder.
Kind of like break down what it's like to be a weed wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Give us the run on that.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say, but in my situation, I do have a regular job that I work at during like a scheduled like paycheck job, so I do that. Then when Ninja's out of town, I got to take care of the girls. Someone's got to take care of them, so. I follow his instructions, and I've kind of done from start to finish, but never from start to finish all at the same time. It's always been like pockets.
Oh, pieces of like when he leaves for a couple weeks during this phase or this stage of the plants?
Yes.
Like more like that?
It's like taking care of that or, whatever other errands that he may need done. That's going on while... having my own personal time.
Is it that like hard? Like I feel like it would be difficult actually filling in like that though, and helping a person like that. Like when they're not your plants, you probably go down there on some nights after work, and you're like, "Bitches, like I gotta water you," or like, do you ever feel
like legit though? It depends. It depends on the time of the month and my mood. Straight up. That's what it is. It's
Oh, yeah.
If I'm in a good happy mood, I'll go in there. I'll check multiple times. I'll walk in there like, "What's up, bitches? How you doing today?" If it's a bad day and I'm like, "What the fuck you want in here, you stupid hoes?"
Yeah.
Taking up more time of my time, but I have to sit here and babysit you. Like, how is this working out?
Yeah.
And during those times though, I can see a different response in the plants of just even my mood walking in there, even if it's just like straight watering.
Dang.
There's a whole different attitude that they give back to me.
I'm a firm believer of that. Is like that's your signature as a grower. Is I think like we can all copy each other or do different stuff, whatever it is. But I feel like everybody has this signature of energy. And like if you really come in there and you're like, I just love you ladies so much. It's like they seem to really take care of you. But the times that you're like pretty angry, I feel like sometimes they're like, oh, here's a fungus gnat. Like,
Or no, it's one of those like, oh yeah, bitch, you want to walk in here with attitude? Everything's been all copacetic. Well, here, let me show you this. And then you're like, fuck, what do I do? I can't call him and tell him like I've just fucked his plants up because I don't know what I did other than just put water. And then it's like, fuck, I have to call him, ask, what the fuck did I just do? And I'm like, I'm mad at myself now because like I'm only supposed to be babysitting, so like. You know, it's like
I gave the kid crackers.
You know what I'm saying? Like I fed the kid, or I took the dog out, and then you're just I don't know, and then I have to make that phone call or text, and then it's like, shit.
She'll call and be like, hey, one of your plants are droopy, but I was in a rush, so I just poured a bottle of water in it. I'm like, oh, thanks, babe. Love you.
But keep in mind, like I'm not a stay-at-home wife, so I do have like places to go for amounts of time of my day. And then whatever errands that need to be taken care of, before or after. So it's not like I'm just sitting on my ass at home. Like,
I feel like I feel like that's what would be the difficult part is like having a full schedule plus that on top of it, and your hubby is like traveling.
That's
You're
the
like,
hardest
what?
part. That is the hardest part because I feel like. For those of you out there, and I'm just going to use the term in general, like if you're out there trying to be a weed wife, then number one, you need to be prepared for lonely days and lonely nights. You want a successful partner, then you need to be prepared with success and what the determination of being successful brings. There have been times when he's traveled, and just because of the way his schedule is, I saw him maybe 7 days out of an entire month.
Wow. That would be... And then you're out here grinding. Like getting your hustle on. I bet that's difficult for you too on the flip. It's like trusting that things are going to go well with the plans. Probably miss her so much.
Yeah, I try not to get her upset. Yeah, for sure. Like, oh, don't piss me off. I'll pour bleach on your plants. I'll chop it down. Don't even have to worry about your plants anymore. You shouldn't even be out there. You should be hanging out at home with me.
Blue, does he ever do the things that like... when you like go to the bathroom and somebody's like curing in the shower all of a sudden, or like you like go to do your dishes in the sink and there's like a shit ton of plants or something. You're like, I live here.
Okay. All right. So let's put it like this. There's only certain rooms in our home that I occupy because all of his side ladies take up the other space, and then there's his office. Yeah. But I mean, just a prime example is there is a fan. There used to be a fucking air filter. And then there's a 55-gallon resi in the guest bathroom that I get in for work. So it's like I can't even use that shower in the morning. You
have a 55-gallon resi in your shower?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
It's empty though.
But I mean, that's even worse. But I mean, it's there. And then in my kitchen after we're going on probably like 6 or 7 years, and I'm still scraping oil out of my kitchen sink, like between the rubbing alcohol and like I don't know what the fuck it is. Like I'm still scraping it out. There's times where I can't cook because I've got clones sitting underneath the light on the stove, or there's just things like that. Like it's be prepared to have like weed life is your life. You just have to find your own way within that life.
See,
I mean, it's just so fucked. It's so fucked up because it's plants. It is plants.
I'm just thinking about like when it's harvest season and like there's outdoor harvest. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't have enough space, and there's literally like tomato cages flipped upside down, or just
and then keep
sitting,
in mind,
it's just like sitting right up with weed hanging everywhere, and you're like shimmy through to walk through the house, and then she goes to work, and all her
and then
clothes
I come
and
home
purse
from
smells
work
like weed.
Telling him, so apparently I found a smashed up eighth on my clothes that I took to work today, or I was asked to go put my purse in my car because it's smelling up the office.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't even smoke last night, man. Like,
Oh my gosh. Well, do you guys like, I know that you guys have been together for a long time, and I feel like, was it like, Blue, was it hard when you guys first got together or something? Like, were you as much of a smoker as Ninja, or like into the weed as much as
absolutely
Stone Ninja?
not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Just hated
The
her.
very first time I ever smoked weed was senior year of high school at like, it was almost graduation, like house party.
Really?
So I smoked, but I didn't feel anything, and I equate that to I was drinking. So I was already kind of like on a real good buzz.
Too I did.
And then after that, there was like a couple people that I smoked weed with, but it was like in transition of, I would probably say within maybe a week or 2 weeks of meeting Ninja. So ultimately, my whole weed smoking like career is due to him. Like, I lived a completely
My
different
fault.
life.
Totally my fault.
She was a purified baby angel before.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is crazy. So then even you were like, did it make you nervous to smoke around Blue at first, or like
A little
talk
bit.
about like weed like that?
A little bit at first, yeah. And then I was like, okay, she's cool. She can handle weed and not freak out. Yeah.
I've seen some fainters out there. God, be careful.
And it was just completely different from everything that I like had known and was. Like, I grew up in a military household. My father was a career military man.
Gosh.
So there was no, like, you don't do bad things. I didn't go out to like parties unless I spent the night at my friend's house because we were going to the movies late. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
The most extreme opposites.
yes.
OG Tyler.
No, that's awesome. I mean, no, you don't want to marry a clone, right? So you want to like have some like opposites attract. It's like a thing, But then it's cool to have like you kind of like say this is like my life, and like and she accept it, and then like you teach her the ways,
Well,
like Jedi Master. You know what I mean? Like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
in the trade shows, like, because I've seen your name a lot, Stone Ninja, like just coming up with like the events and stuff in the past and throughout the last couple of years. Is like, does Blue help you with the trade shows? Like, do you guys do these events together sometimes as well?
Yeah. Sometimes she'll be at the booth chilling and helping out.
Gosh, that's awesome.
It's not very often though. It depends on, I'm a very scheduled person. So I need to know things on advance. Ninja is very like fly by the seat of his pants. So there's not often that like our schedules can work out that way. But then there's times where
Just a
magic just gets made and it happens.
Gosh. Well, I think it is so incredible, Blue, that you are out there taking care of these ladies. And I bet, how long do you think like you've been doing that, like, or just working with the plants like that?
Pretty much ever since I moved in with him.
Dang.
Because it's like it was odd. Like when he asked me to move in with him, I had already started looking for a job up where he lived, because we didn't live together. Like, we commuted long distance for a good portion of our relationship.
Wow.
And so I was looking for a job, and as soon as I found I interviewed for a job and they hired me, I put in my 2-week notice from the job that I had. And within that weekend, I was moved up with him and starting my new job within 2-3 days. Like, I hit the ground running, so I wouldn't be sad.
Wow.
And then because of, his life, plants were always there. So it was just like, hey, I got to go do this. Can you make sure this? Or, oh, I got to run here. I'm going to be late. Can you make sure you're, can you mix this? Can you do this portion for me? And it just kind of
That is so cool.
evolved into what it's become now.
You're like the real right-hand man in the best of ways.
I'm lucky.
Sometimes.
I just think it would be so incredible as a couple, because trust, like, it's so hard to trust somebody into your grow, and like, period, especially when you're out of town. You're like, yeah, just go take care of them.
Yeah.
Good luck when I come back. But like, to actually have that for like such a long time to actually, I don't know, be dialing it in together. I'm sure there's things that you've taught Blue in the garden, or maybe even having no experience or coming in from an outside, like, or not no experience. I mean, like, coming in from a different perspective where you, like, probably showed Stone Ninja, like, little tricks or goodies. Maybe.
I mean, he would be better to answer that than I could.
I like. There's times where I try to encourage it, like, "Hey, let's learn to grow," but then she's like kind of standoffish, like, that's more like your stuff. But she'll pick up things that I do. But she's getting more into it now. I think it's just more of a comfort thing. Like, she doesn't want to start it and not be able to finish it, or have it, just be a waste of time and stuff. So
I think there would be a lot of pressure too. Like, I feel like you'd want to, like, impress your man beast. You'd be like, I'm gonna do this so good, and I'm gonna crush your flower.
well, that's the thing. That's the thing is she's pretty much done all the steps, but not in a row, just because of all my travels. So she's doing it, but it's like, hey babe, can you help me real quick?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? She's
Like,
so learning. Like, okay, I know. If I had, say, something happened and I was gone, she would still be able to grow weed, and if she had to, she could still blast oil.
gosh, Blue, that's next level.
And she could take clones. She could do all that stuff.
God.
She can make her own seeds too if she wanted to. She knows like from start to finish, like how to breed stuff, how to shuck seeds, how to test stuff, how to pop seeds, all of it.
I mean, like the best way I can explain it is like, okay, let's take ourselves back to high school and go into chemistry class, right? So it would be like when you have like lab day where you get to actually fuck with all the shit and put it together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have lab days.
Ooh.
I have lab days. I don't have the lecture day. The understanding, like, I know how to do, I can do it, but the why I'm doing it isn't connected. I just, in all fairness, he cannot be the one to teach me. And the reason why I say that is because I am officially and permanently traumatized from when he taught me how to roll a joint.
Oh.
It was...
Did the joint come out nice?
It did. Hold on. It did eventually. But it was like, I would try, and he's like, that's not right. Do it again. That's not right. Do it again. I'm like, oh, okay, look, I got it to stick together. What the fuck is this? Is pregnant. Rips it in half.
Oh, my gosh.
In front of me.
Oh, my gosh.
Then makes me pick the paper out and re-roll because, we're not fucking wasting trees, and we're going to
A
smoke
lot
this
of it
joint.
was trolling, though.
So it's like...
He's like...
I'm officially traumatized. So if I'm ever going to put all of my lab work together with lecture and actually do it from start to finish, it would have to be from somebody else.
Yeah, you don't want to tear it
be,
apart.
And it would be respectfully, that way I'm not upset with him. Like, say I have a bad fucking school day with Stone Ninja, right?
Yeah.
And I got to go to bed with him at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to be sitting there laying next to, like, my husband, like, this motherfucker, like,
Professor P, get out of here.
He just sat there and fucking just slam dunked that clone because I didn't fucking transplant it right, or I didn't use the right medium because I wasn't paying attention. Like, fuck this.
God, everybody should sign up for Stone Ninja's new grow class.
But here's the
How
thing,
to roll
though.
a joint class.
But the
for
difference
sure.
is, though, I've seen him teach other people.
Oh, I
So
see. But
it's a closeness thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Just
he knows that
trolling.
he can
Just
get away
trolling.
with, like...
Like you watch those like kung fu movies, and you got the grandmaster teaching the dude.
Yes.
He's just troll, like fucking with them, like kicking them off post and stuff, or like slapping things, or adding more shit grief to it. Like the situation, like that was kind of the low key trolling I was doing.
I like how he's like, I'm sorry, baby, I was just poking a little.
Yeah.
So it's like, it would be nice to learn how to put everything that I know together.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like, yes, I mean, I can shuck seeds. I could, if I really wanted to, I understand like the breeding aspect. I could grow a plant. If I could dry a plant, I could cure a plant. I could trim a plant. I could smoke a plant. I could roll it up. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can make certain extracts if I ever needed to.
It's one of those things where it's like that fine point between me willing to teach something and her willing and wanting to learn it.
Yeah.
So there's like that when do we find that? And then sometimes it'll hit, and it's like, oh, let me teach you about super cropping, or or defoliation or whatever, and why I'm doing it.
That's nice.
So it's like, here's what I'm doing. See it. Like, here, you try it. And this is why I'm doing it. And then here's the results we're going to see. And then go back to it and, like, see how it, like, how many tops we have now. Or, you know, like, stuff, just random stuff like that. But I'm
really
horrible
nice.
at teaching. There's a point where it's like, why don't you fucking already know this, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to just Google this
hard
part,
teaching.
bro. So there's like the mix between that and like how am I mentally feeling that day. You know?
I get that. And in a garden, I think it's weird to say this, but I feel like most people that are really good at growing and breeding is like, it's something that you really get in that zen mode by yourself. It's really difficult with other people, and I think
Yeah.
even explaining things or like honestly going through that part, it's not that you don't appreciate it or anything like that, but I think you're so like that's become a different special place for you, and you almost
Yeah.
it's weird.
It's that, and then there's like, how many different ways can we grow weed, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Then there's that. Then it's like, well, someone asks, well, how do you do it? Then you tell them. Then they start nitpicking. It's like, bro, I didn't.
That's
I
exactly.
appreciate it, and I'll sit there, and I'll be patient, and I'll listen to what they have to say, and because you never know, you might learn something. But it's like, where I'm at right now, I'm happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't want to push it, even though I can push it, but where I'm at now, I'm happy with it. So it's like I'm willing to learn, but it's those people that don't know that border between, oh, did you know about this tip versus, oh, you should do this.
Definitely.
One of those. So it's like where I'm like, oh, have you thought about this? And it's like it strikes a good conversation versus someone trying to drill their ideology on growing onto you. It's like, how far deep do I need to go into your style, bro?
Oh gosh, I think that's such a good point too. It's like everybody, I think with all the different mediums, like I've even noticed it. Like if I say something good about Rockwool or some product or whatever, everybody's like, she's never grown soil and she doesn't know what living soil is. It's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, we all start there. Like,
Yeah.
and like we all evolve, you know, and change. And like you switch. Like I see a lot of people using Rockwool now in living soil, and like you know just I don't know, just different, like you said, different techniques that people choose over time. And it's weird though, is when somebody gets comfortable with their own, sometimes they have a bad way of being like, this is the only way, when it's just so vast.
Yeah, you always gotta be. I learn something new every grow,
Gosh.
and that's something that I try to make sure I do. Just learn something new every grow. I don't know everything. I'll never consider myself a master grower, so it's always like I always try to pick up something, whether it's on my own or from someone else that gave me a suggestion.
Do you think with breeding that's something that like you've noticed even within yourself, like change? I'm just saying from my own experiences, like the first like sprays that I used, or the first like any of these different like texts, or what you did find online, or what talking in a group of people, like has like your style of breeding, you think, changed from when you first began that process to like now?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like, used to be super against fem strains.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we're just diluting the gene pool. We're just forcing hermaphroditic traits into these seeds and passing it along. And a lot of people don't think about that and just start breeding with that. And sometimes you pop up with weird shit. But now it's changed just from demand and just understanding it a little better.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing more fem stuff.
I think that's awesome, because it's almost like I think that the things that like challenge us that we almost disagree with, like that, like once you make that leap, and it sounds so weird, it's almost like you just start appreciating all of the different various.
Yeah. It's the same thing with like autos.
Yeah.
It was still like, I don't know. Nah, nah, that's all like, you keep all the auto stuff in Europe, right? That's how that was the stigma against it. And just going through it and talking to other growers, like, oh, dude. It's like, why do you have a flowering plant in your bedroom, bro? Oh, you don't do autos, dude? What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and then like just meeting other auto breeders, and then like Night Owl.
Yes.
Like helping him get clones into auto form, like clonally, you know what I mean? Stuff
That's
like cool
awesome.
stuff into auto is you know, it changed my mind, and then seeing what he's been putting out, even during that whole like just us becoming friends, better friends, is like it's cool to see that evolution.
I think so too, especially for those guys like that honestly don't finish their rooms, and I hate to put it like that, but if you're just like harvesting early all the time, like you should be growing autos, and like you should be like doing some of these things that just make it more complementary to like your
Yeah.
actual system, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Blue, do you ever get to make suggestions on these crosses or name them?
I get to name.
Ooh.
There is a lot of the strains that I've named, to be honest.
Can you think of, I hate when people do this to me, but can you think of like any of the names?
Like the ninja fruit, I named her.
Ninja fruit. That's cute.
Cheese Daddy, I named her too.
Cheese Daddy, what's the cross on that?
It's a UK cheese and a Granddaddy perp.
Damn. I bet that's pretty.
She's pretty and she does well for my soul. Just like ninja fruit. Does well for all of my, if we're going like medicinally wise, for everything. Like she's not one that like, it's gonna be like 32%. It's not like that. She wasn't meant to be that way. It's like, for me at least, she gets you to that high where you need to function, but your body's relaxed and everything. It's like you woke up after a good long sleep.
Wow.
And functional.
That's pretty incredible. I think we need to get some of that.
What's the cross on that?
The ninja fruit?
Yep.
Grapefruit haze, grape ape.
Oh, dang.
Gosh, I love all the purple.
That's awesome.
But there's others that I've helped name, like kind of like combination things of just, you know, I like words and spelling, so
I think it's exciting when you get to name the strains. I think that especially, I feel like you guys got love bird plants over there. I feel like you got that good energy. Everybody should get on these seeds.
I mean, but I'll say this, like there's times where like I've had conversations with other people about things and they look at me like, but he does that, how come you not know? Like, oh, I could pinpoint this XYZ strains just by like looking at it and smoking at it. Like I'm in a position that this sounds really horrible to say, but I have seen and smoked so much weed in so many different strains that like I remember the ones that stand out.
Yeah.
To me, it's not like I could sit there and pick up a jar of like a papaya punch and be like, oh yeah, that's papaya punch, but I could pick up a jar of like an OG and be like, that's OG.
Dang. See, that is classy. That's what I like to see. OG Tyler.
Yeah, no. What are like the your 3 strains that you can think of right now that stood out to you?
Just OG all day, every day.
Yeah.
There's one particular strain that like that would be my like chasing the dragon. It is an Ogre Kush, and it's specifically like the red apple pheno. The extracts that came out of that, the flower, it's my chasing the dragon strain. Gosh. And then I am a big fan of some Goji OG. Like that's one of those like if you like you just it makes you make new words and shit. Like you get so like junk fooded out that you're just sitting there with like in a gluttonous pile of like wrappers and you're like, I just got junked. You know, it's just I would probably say those are my top ones.
Okay. So any variety of OG you're into?
For the most part, I do like some random weird ones. Like I'm a big fan of like a Jack Rare or an XJ13. I do like that profile. That terp profile hits me. Like I smell it, I know it. But it's one of those that's one of those terpenes that I have a limit of how much of it I can smoke. Once I hit that threshold, then it turns into now I am having anxiety and the raciness. It's not to that.
Right.
But another big one that stands out for me and it's just kind of special is Piff from New York. From New York. I mean, there's just something about like smoking a blunt of Piff late at night, walking the bridges. It's just
no, that's awesome.
Something about that feeling.
That's awesome.
Tyler's a huge fan of all those strains of that terpene profile. He loves it.
No, I don't. I'm not like I'm not a haze or like anything that's like reminiscent of like frankincense or anything like that. I'm not into any
but
like.
I absolutely love
that's
it.
not my thing, but I mean, God bless the people that like it. You know what I'm saying? No, it's like it's cool. Did you guys like ever get into like the gelato wave? That went on.
Yeah.
I mean, I smoked it, but it wasn't like my favorite. That
Right.
I was like, oh, but I mean, it was good. It did it. It got me high.
Right.
I was more of a Sunset Sherbet dude.
Okay.
That was tasty.
Gelato was cool, and I did my things with it, breeding, just because of demand, and then I was quickly over it.
Right.
And then with how oversaturated it is, just everywhere from coast to coast, it's like, please get the gelatos and the runts away from me.
It's kind of like what happened to cookies.
It's
Right.
so true.
Just played out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're really good strains. Like all the phenos, all the different crosses of them, they're all really nice. But it's just for me, it's just so like everywhere I turn is in my face,
Right.
and it's just over it.
No, I understand that. I mean, we didn't get it like those profiles till way later. So all the people now are just like getting kind of burnt out. But like I can understand you guys have been seeing it for years. So you're just like, please give me something like new, or just bring back OG. You know.
That's what's happening right now. In LA, just in California, there's a lot of OGs from north to south. It's like the rebirth of OG. Everyone's getting back into it, so it's nice to see.
That's good. That's the way to get you high. Anyway,
That's my preferred smoke. Yeah,
Yeah.
OGs.
Do you have any crosses that you've done, Ninja, with some OGs?
Yeah, one of them just recently dropped at Cure Company in downtown Patient Group. They hunted through my Cypher cross, which is the marathon cross of my Dojo fruit.
Ooh.
And they found a really good OG heavy pheno that's been on the market since like November.
So really fast, while you mentioned that, I'm so sorry I didn't touch on that earlier. Is that shop that you're working with in California? Can we talk about that a little bit, or just?
Yeah, I don't like work for them. It's like I got a homie that's working for them, and I know some of their growers and stuff. They're head growers, so it's like sneaky. Hey, you want to try some of these seeds or try this pheno I hunted? So just kind of get my foot in there and just getting some good genetics.
I mean, I feel like that's got to be like a huge move though. After you've been doing this for so long and like traveling, pushing your name out like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to feel so good.
Yeah, it feels good to have it. The Stone Ninja OG. This is an ounce of the smalls. They have small buds. They have the regular size buds, but this is like the economy special. I recommend this to everyone, because especially people that smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
Smoking big joints of Stone OG is definitely the way to go.
I feel like cost wise and like honestly, like actually rolling them up though, like the smaller the nugs, like if you roll stuff, like if you roll a blunt, if you roll joints, like I think I just really prefer it. It sounds bad. It's not my like show off jar. I'm saying like if you're, I don't know,
No,
flexing.
I totally agree. Like I have a big ass grinder. I throw like an eighth at a time and just start mowing down and roll away. Yeah.
Yeah, makes it quick, straight to. And I love this jar. I have to say, Stone Ninja is the first person I've seen do like a real ounce jar. Like instead of having like the eights or like all like, how did you? So brilliant.
They I sent them some images and stuff. And yeah, the art guys got together and whipped up some shit, and I was like, that's really rad. You should definitely run it. They
Did
ran
you?
it.
I'm sorry.
That's killer.
No, I was so sorry.
The graphics look killer, man. Yeah, no, sorry. They're great.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I like how there's like some
It-
raised.
oh,
Has some
it's
texture
raised,
to
yeah.
it,
No, that's
so
awesome.
Some life and some feel.
That's sick.
I pop it open. There's some nuggets. And
Oh,
stuff.
word.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. But definitely,
That
there's.
smells good.
I like Kushes and Chems, and I'm working on some more of that stuff. So hopefully I'll have that ready here.
You like those
Pretty
old
soon.
school.
Yeah. Tasty hitters.
What's the
true.
cross in this?
That one is Marathon Cross to Dojo Fruit.
Okay.
And
That's the
Dojo
one.
Fruit's like a massive OG male. Like the trikes on the males. Heavy on the OG.
And it's like the marathon OG, or nice.
I-
R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was cute. I think it just got to be such a good feeling. I think to like work that hard and really like, I don't think it gets touched on a lot, but like how much people really put in like as like entrepreneurs truly with like creating this and how much really goes into like financially like coming up with logos and stickers and jars like
A lot of moving parts.
yes
Yeah.
like
I was a very proud wife. I was a very proud wife. Being there on the ground, watching him, like, his hustle, his grind, like, just his work ethic. Like, I was extremely proud of him when, like, he told me the news about it.
That's massive. Do you feel like Blue like that sometimes you don't get enough like acknowledgement or credibility sometimes like being behind the scenes or helping, or do you feel like you I don't know. How do you feel about all that?
I mean, I get like again, it depends on my day and my mood. Like if you know what I mean. If I'm being like a little sassy pants, then like yeah, I want my flowers. Like motherfucker, you can't do this. You like do this without me. But most of the time, it's just kind of like our dynamic of our relationship. Like that's just kind of what you do. Because I feel like if he and I were in the same position, but we were doing it separately, that he would feel the same way for me. There'd be those times of just being like a sassy husband and like, feeling left alone, like, you can't do this without me running, but at the same time being extremely proud to see that, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't speak for you, but I mean, that's kind of how.
Well, it's definitely rough at times. When I get it, it's like, it must be nice to just travel all these spots and do all this pothead shit, while I'm back here watering your fucking plants, dude. Like, I totally get it. So it's hard sometimes to be like, well, you're not wrong, but it's like, can you please not be mad at me about it?
But then I'm also not there seeing like what is actually taking place, like the conversations and the meetings and the phone calls and the traveling from A, B, and C.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it's hard. It's very hard to navigate, and I think at this point now, because I mean we've kind of a little seasoned into doing it, that it's much better for both of us than it was, in the beginning.
Almost like routine now.
Yeah, because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. How to we never been in a relationship that worked like that. So while we're living and just living, we're figuring out how to live together and compromise and be there for the other person when we need it.
And also be respectful of each other's time, both personal and work time.
Yeah.
It's being an emotional female sometimes it's not very helpful in situations for my partner, and it's probably embarrassing for them.
No, I make a point, especially now, to recognize I gotta make sure I spend more time. It seems like the wife is feeling low. You know what I mean? I want to make her make a point of, look,
you're really
I want
important.
it. You're important. I'm not just pushing you to the side for work or doing other shit. It's our time right now.
But it's just hard when them side girls are just always needy. They're just always needy.
Yeah.
I feel like hustling though, I think that's a real thing though, that a lot of people, especially at our ages and stuff in life, is I do think there's a lot of team behind the scenes, of anything, of couples like that, where you need help in the grow both ways. There's plenty of times I need a man beast. I'm a strong, independent woman, but I need you to hang this. Or, really, you really do need to help each other. And I think it just gets weird with I think the ego thing is the cannabis industry tends to be so ego driven, and I mean that sensitively, but I think it's crazy how many women are behind the scenes that would never be Instagram famous, will never get acknowledged, will never get seen. But they're always watering the plants or helping with breeding projects or helping with these things.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool to see, Ninja, you guys actually genuinely supporting each other, and you do want her to be out. Stone Ninja, sorry, I just want to touch on this really quick before we finish up, but you also have your online life, of Twitch. I know that you have a huge following. Ninja is so cool. And could you tell us a little bit, because even that I feel takes a lot of time for what you've created.
Yeah, so I stream a lot on Twitch. I do some YouTube stuff. I got a buddy helping me out, Sergio Dangsky. He also streams and does stuff on YouTube. So yeah, there's a lot of just the online stuff, streaming on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, putting the time in for that, trying to mix in, while I'm streaming, make sure I show off this or talk about this stuff. And half the time it's just allowing myself just to brain fart out and veg out and just do video games and random stuff.
Dang.
Yeah.
So is it mostly video games or just all the things?
No, honestly, every episode's a slow plane crash. I have zero intent going into start. I start the stream we're gonna do a virtual hangout. We're just gonna virtually hang out and smoke and chill and talk, and whatever pops up. sometimes there'll be pre-thought out content, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna talk about these things or show off these things. But 95% of the time, it's just fire up the stream and start hanging with the homies.
That is impressive.
I feel like if I actually had premeditated content, I would probably do better. But I'm just not there because I can't keep a consistent schedule because of all the travel and work and everything else. So I don't want to start something and then disappoint everyone that's investing their time in me.
Oh, I definitely I feel that is I feel like people don't realize how much if you're trying to do a show like when everybody's just like have topics stay on like do all these things like you're like
It's
yes
hard.
I want to so bad more than you like, it's such a weird I think it's a hard hurdle like to get through like even being on podcasts in the past and like even practicing my own show now, obviously today is a prime example, is I feel like it goes both ways. Sometimes you're like, I hope nobody watches this. And then other times you're like, man, if I could just like dial this in
I
perfect.
think as long as you're just sincere, you're just a real person, that's all that really matters. Honestly, the content's going to come.
Do you have any tricks though for, cause that is a very, very solid one, but do you have any like tricks or anything that you would suggest for those trying to start their own channels?
Anyone trying to start their own channel, don't make it a job. Don't anticipate to make a shit ton of money. Do it because you want to do it and you're having fun doing it. Try to have a consistent schedule that's realistic. Don't pressure yourself and put a bunch of fucking food on your plate that you're not going to eat. You know, just think it out. Just think it out. Write yourself a schedule. I'm going to dedicate my life Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from 2 to 5 or whatever you want to do or feel comfortable doing and start there. And don't be afraid to get out of whatever content you're in. Don't ever get stuck on one thing. Like, I'm just going to smoke weed every time. Like, go out and review other things or play a video game or watch something. Like, try something else. You don't have to do it all the time, but every once in a while, throw it in there. You never know. You might get some more people come in that normally wouldn't, and then they'd be interested in what you normally do.
Yeah, it's just depending, like, on what you want to do, too. It just narrow it down. Like, I stream different things than he does, like, on my channel. Like, I do most of my stuff on my mobile phone, so, like, you're going to catch me, like, say Ninja's out of town, and I go take myself on a date to a restaurant. I'll pop up
Oh.
a stream and eat my dinner at a restaurant with whoever wants to join me.
That is so cool.
There's times where I'm, making dinner and I'm making everything from scratch. So I will set up in the kitchen and I'm making this meal. He's home and I'm going to go from start to finish, make it, and then even show once it's plated and served. I'll do that. There's times where, like, I'll go to the beach and just sit there and hang out. Like, I'll just pop up a stream. You might catch some glimpses of some things, but I'm just randomly different. But I'm not consistent just because of my life and how my time runs. But I way different. Like my first one started with just me rolling joints and smoking, and it just kind of gradually moved into different shit. Like it's just random adventures. That's what my channel is. Just whatever random fucking adventure I have to be on or be doing.
That is so good to hear. And I think for people to hear that you don't have to be honed in on just this one thing and kind of restrict yourself to such a broad horizon. Jesus. OG Tyler, do you have any?
Ma'am.
I think we're gonna wrap this up soon. I know that Ninja and Blue have to catch a flight tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you
Sorry.
have any future breeding projects that you're working on, or like anything new coming up that you're like stoked on?
I'm working on some more chems, some more ninja fruit projects, and some more of like the piffy like black haze stuff.
Nice. Dope.
Man,
Gosh,
some more OG stuff.
I need this. I'm gonna be following up on this. Well, is there any last things that we can shout out, touch on?
You got anything?
No
babe?
pressure.
High five you.
Yeah, thanks
High
for having
five you.
us.
Thanks for
It's
having
nice meeting
us.
you, OG Tyler.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Check us all out on our social medias.
Yeah, where can we
Yeah, we'll
find you?
post.
Well, on Twitch, it's just Stoned Ninja. Same thing with YouTube. It might be Stoned X Ninja X. On on Instagram, I should probably have a couple accounts up, but Dojo Seco is definitely a solid one. Check out the website, dojoseco.com, and check out the Stone Ninja section at Seed Bazaar. Use code Stone Ninja for a discount. Premium.
Boom.
Blue.
And you can find me on Twitch or on the Instagram at Blue the Siren, all one word. Nice and easy.
We're gonna put all those goodies as well in the description of this video tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching. We have a beautiful little outro that we're gonna test. We're gonna see how this goes.
Fingers crossed.
Let's cross
go.
out.
Yes.
No.
Right.